What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Koppai Podcast, episode 52. I am one of your hosts, Caster Risk, joined alongside Mr. Koppai himself, Zach Risk.
It's good to be with you today.
A tip of the hat to you, sir.
Yeah, go Islanders.
As I live and breathe, Mr. Koppai. Now, as always, we have another good one for you today, folks. It's our best episode yet. We're going to be talking a little bit about that Zelda, a little bit about that 1-2 Switch, Snipper Clips, Blaster Master Zero, World of Goo, the hit of 2008, game of the generation from the Wii era, still game of the generation of the Switch era. Actually, that's not true. I mean, come on, we have freaking Zelda. No, Zach, how are you? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Huh? I'm doing good. I'm finally on my break. I'm finally past all of this ridiculous sophomore portfolio review for my college classes, and I'm on the free stretch. I get to play Zelda all week, so I'm pretty stoked about that.
Finally catch up from your scrub numbers.
I know. You at your 90 hours and here I am, 35 little puny hours, but yeah, it's gonna soar this week. I'm gonna be up to
Are you even
200
off the Great Plateau
or more.
yet? Like, my goodness.
What's that?
Are you even off the Great Plateau?
I'm still looking for my Switch shirt, man.
Yeah. Oh, man. I was so determined to wear that for a long time, and it's like, no way.
Yeah. Well, I wear it now. This is my deal with that, is like now if I'm in like hanging out around a stable or something, or if I'm like chilling at night cooking some food, or if I'm something like that, I switch to that. I switch to like more casual gear, kind of do that, so. I do,
change some outfits sometimes to, look a little, like, for example, I was facing this pretty tough enemy the other day, and I switched to just wear my hat and pants. So I was shirtless. And I was like, I'm going to take down this guy, just like complete.
Yeah, it's fun to do that too sometimes. Like,
yeah, I killed an enemy completely naked the other day just for the fun challenge of it. And like completely, because I knew if they hit me, I'd be gone without any defense. And so it was completely based on dodging and fighting that way.
Right.
And it was really fun just to like, and I took pictures. So like, there's a picture of, Link in the air with his bow and arrow, just completely shirtless, like ready to go, and just pretty epic stuff.
It feels really great, the combat and things that you can do, because you can get really precise and just like dodging everybody's moves by perfectly like backflipping and rolling out of the way.
The flurry rushes are good when you start getting good at those.
It's really cool how they kind of, I haven't played a lot of Skyward Sword, but in Twilight Princess they had a really in-depth, like, the hidden moves or whatever that the guy would teach you and stuff. They had a really robust combat system that you'd eventually like be able to pull off some really sick moves, and it seems like this game is just like really packed with the same amount. You can kind of from the get-go, if you remember some of those things, you can just kind of do them right off the bat. But yeah, it's really awesome that the combat's just not simply just hack and slash. It's much more in-depth than that.
Yeah, we'll talk actually about Zelda to lead off the show, since that's mainly the game we've been playing. Kind of another week of Zelda impressions. We had some last week. Obviously, staying spoiler free. As it's this game. There's not like it's been out for a week, you should have had your chance to play it and stuff. Like, no, it's such a different beast of a game, and so we won't get into spoilers, especially story spoilers. Or even like really location or monster based spoilers, just kind of general gameplay mechanics. But first and foremost, in case you didn't know, we are an all Nintendo podcast that posts each and every week here on youtube.com/Koppai Gaming, as well as SoundCloud and iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio, and other various podcast services as Koppai Podcast. So go to soundcloud.com or itunes.com/Koppai Podcast if you want to find us there, or you can find anything and everything that we make on koppaigaming.com. We're going to be posting there some more. I have some stuff I've been writing to post there as far as written content, hopefully making it into video content. We're experimenting with some other ideas that we can have for more videos with Zach and I every once in a while. So that'll be coming up. So there's that. Each week we discuss the games we're playing, the latest Nintendo news, and then if we have time, or if we want to focus in on something, maybe a topic of the show. Today's topic of the show is probably just going to be our continued love of Zelda and the Switch games we're playing, as well as all of the Nintendo news we have to cover, which there's lots of good Nintendo news this week. Good in every sense of the word. Good as in like, it's got some substance, some new stuff we're learning about the Switch and Nintendo, but also just good news for Nintendo. So be sure to click that like button down below. Click the subscribe button so you're notified of when we go live. Sometimes we record our podcast live. We didn't this week because of some technical difficulties. But you get notified then, and also you get notified of when we post videos if we start doing other videos. And then obviously review us on iTunes. Even if you're watching on YouTube, hop over to iTunes for that. And so with all of that rigmarole and housekeeping out of the way, Zach, what have you been playing?
I've been playing, I unfortunately, I'm going to go a little bit of Derek from Game Explain here. Shout out to him.
Oh my gosh.
He's an awesome guy, but he does, he's the same as me. He gets busy and occupied. It's and I have the same excuse. I've been busy and unfortunately I haven't been able to play Zelda as much as I would have liked. What I would do is, now thankfully we have the NX here, the Switch. I was able to take it to school with me, to class, and literally I think I got about an hour of Zelda in, not excluding last night, because last night I did a binge, 3 or 4 hours of playing. But over the week it was literally 30 to an hour of playing, and it was all just on my quick little 5-10 minute breaks in between class. I would just go and collect some plants and mushrooms and stuff and cook a few things, or just walk around. And so basically that's kind of been my story the past week. I have been playing a little bit of Shovel Knight too, but because I'm trying to I had started and gotten a little bit over halfway on the PS4 version because I've been holding out for that for trophies, and then I never really finished that, and then I thought I'm just going to give it a final resting home on the Switch. And because I like that idea of being able to play it on the big screen, and also on the go, because it's just perfect for that, and also a platformer aside from Zelda, so that's been awesome to play. Really, really enjoying that. Otherwise, we'll talk later too. I've been playing a lot of on the side some of these other little
we'll talk about those in depth as we get to those.
Loving Zelda, absolutely. Still, just I think Zelda is so perfect. It's not even that I'm going in to play more of the story and stuff. I'm just going in to hang out, which is just really, really cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty far in it. I've played 90 hours.
Yeah.
Although honestly, I'm way behind. I think other people that have played that long. Jose Otero reviewed it for IGN, and I would assume probably beat the main story, and all of the dungeons and a lot of the stuff. And he was clocked in at 70 hours. Alana Pierce beat everything, or not everything, but the main components of the game in 40 hours. I'm at 90, and I can assure you I have not beat the main game yet. I actually, and I don't know if if this is a spoiler. I actually have just done all of the towers. I went ahead, and that was my my next main goal.
I haven't done all the towers yet. I still have probably, I don't know, several, many towers left. What I've been kind of doing is taking out. I've been going from, I guess I went to the east of Hyrule, and then, because I guess that's kind of where it directs you, and then I've been kind of I went slightly north and then slightly south. I've been just kind of working through that area. I haven't really gone up into way north or way into the west, or... Yeah,
west was my last place.
Yeah.
I basically did a counterclockwise circle where I went to kind of the southeast, and then a little, actually, I dabbled in the south quite a bit. And then I went just completely up north.
I was hanging out in the south a lot last night. It's really cool. I finally made it.
The south is awesome. And I remember getting to the south for the first time and just being like, whoa, there's just so much of this world to explore.
I know, it's insane.
But I started getting worried because I haven't really let fear of spoilers drive any of my gameplay. Otherwise, I'd be it would have beaten the game. I've hidden a lot of people off Nintendo forums and blocked a lot of people who would just blatantly post anything that's kind of spoiler related. And I think I've kind of got those people kind of out of my feed, and so I'm not really too worried about spoilers too much.
Thankfully, I haven't seen anything. So
yeah. But I was a little bit kind of I want to just see the world already. I want to just see it. And so that was I kind of made a list of to-dos. I actually did make a literal list of to-dos in the game. And the first on my list was just to go ahead and knock out all the towers, and not necessarily hang around those areas, but knock out all the towers so I could at least see the world with my own eyes before I was exposed to it by anyone else. And then along the way, I made a list of to-dos. I think I have about 25 items, individual, pretty lengthy items to accomplish now, going back to the world. I did some other story things last night, just very little. Story is kind of the least of my priority because I know once I'm done with the story, then, that's like the biggest part. Like that's like still left to to know really.
Right.
And so now it's a lot of, I'm actually kind of at a point. Last night I got to a point where it was like I kind of finished like a milestone for myself, and I'm like, well, crap. Now what do I do? Like,
I know. I did one of those too.
There's kind of that moment of like,
well, what's crazy is like in this game,
now,
it's really like, I don't think I mentioned this in a previous episode, but you do something in this game, a series of quests, so like a side quest, and a lot of the times it's like this would have actually been like the main quest of another game, like a normal game, and then you're like afterwards, it's like I just pretty much beat a game, and now I'm like
that. I felt that way last night with what I finished.
In this game, it's like Inception,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, last night there was a moment where it was just like I'm tearing up. I got chills. I'm like, man, this game, it's so magical.
I know.
And it's like, and I'm like, all right, can put it down, can switch over to Blaster Master, and it's like, no, there's still. I mean, yeah, I haven't. I don't know if you have. I haven't done any of the dungeons yet.
Yeah, I've done one. I think it kind of makes me like. I figured, I don't know. I'm roughly like 20 to 25% through the game due to like main quest completion, but I seriously have no real adequate way of measuring that. I would just guess I'm anywhere between 15 to like 25% through the game is what I would estimate.
Well, I mean, they had those leaked numbers of how many shrines there were, of how many correct puzzles there were.
Yeah. So you can kind of get a little bit of a judgment in your head, but like what I was doing was just like I'm trying to take my quest and adventure like I'm trying to keep myself from just doing kind of what you did and just going to all the towers, because I do kind of want to savor. I love that experience of going to a new region still, and like and it's just like I don't want to have that all kind of taken yet, but at the same time I'm also trying to play in a way where it's like I don't want to be hesitant to experience the world and just live in it and experience it properly, where I'm just kind of afraid to do anything and actually live in it and experience it truly. Like it doesn't matter if it goes a little bit sooner, I think, in some regards than it would if I actually like took it as slow as I possibly could. But at the same time, it's kind of a mixture of both. I'm trying to strike a bit of a balance, I guess, in that. So, yeah.
No, I mean, no.
I
would say maybe based on. Gosh, I don't know. Based on shrine completion, but also accounting for main quest, I would say maybe I'm halfway done. Like, I think that's a pretty safe thing. Because I haven't done any of the dungeons, and I don't know how meaty the dungeons are, like, at all.
Well,
like,
that's crazy to me that you say that you haven't even done a dungeon. I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like, how does that make any sense? Because I have done one dungeon, and I was thinking, like, there's no way that you haven't done like 2 or 3 dungeons or something like that by the time.
Yeah, no. If there's ever like I think I have a couple quests for the dungeons or something. Like they're people have like talked to me about them, and I'm like no, and I just walk away.
Yeah,
and,
I only did it's like and yeah, I felt like I'd beaten a game afterwards, and then I've just been kind of like, all right, I'm gonna take a break. Like it's really nice just that way that you can pace yourself in this game, that you can do a chunk of the main quest if you want and then just totally retreat back. Like,
well, that's why I love knowing, like, I mean, for example, I've played 90 hours, I've explored every single tower, I've done a lot of shrines, and I've also done a pretty significant portion of one area of the main quest.
Right.
And I haven't even touched the dungeons, which is basically what a Zelda game is the entirety of the dungeons.
Yeah.
And so I basically have a whole nother game waiting for me now once I decide to finally do the dungeons, which I'm getting close to the point where, like, my wife was asking me last night. She's like, so are you going to go do the dungeons now? Or are you, like, what are you going to do now? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I kind of want to complete some of the side quests I have. Like, I want to have nothing else to do before it's like, all right, I need to go do the dungeons now. Like, I've postponed them long enough. And then the cool thing is I'm going to be able to walk into them and be like, what's up? Because I'm going to have, like, every single heart and stamina piece.
Yeah.
And go in naked and be like, I know how to flurry rush you more than you'll ever know.
Yeah, well, what's great about, I mean, it's Zelda, too, so it's not even necessarily about
Yeah,
having
it's the
all the stars.
puzzles.
Yeah, you'll go in and you'll be like, yeah, hey, what's up? And then you'll be like, oh crap, I can't even get to this first room because it's not about that. It's like using my mind.
Yeah, man, the
Like,
shrines are on point.
Yeah.
It sucks because we can't be like, I was doing the shrine last night. You know that one because it's like you have no idea. But
I know,
the
like-
shrines continue to be awesome, and it's when you walk into a new one, it's just like, man, this feels great. I'm always a little bummed out when I walk into one. It's like a generic one, like just by getting here, you've proven yourself. I'm like, no, I have not.
Yeah.
Test me even more, man. I go up and
what's
just cut the monk's head off or something.
Yeah, I
He's made
saw
of pure
one
dust.
person like posted like whoever made this shrine, like you are messed up or something, and like thankfully I'd just gone through that shrine. Like it seems like that's
the
happening
new
all
water
the time.
temple, basically. Like the new, everyone hates it online. I've seen that shrine and I've done it.
I'm not
if
sure
it's
if
the one
we're
with-
referring to the same one, but what I was referring to the one is like it's like really motion based. It's like at a
Yep,
ball.
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife actually did the first time because I could not get it.
Yeah,
the
it was.
motion one.
No, yeah.
And my wife was like, "Let me do it," and so she took the controller and like she doesn't play games. She actually can rock Mario Kart 200cc with only motion controls.
Yeah,
If you try to get her to do real controls, so she's great at motion. So she was figuring it out, and she actually got it for me. And I was like, man, that kind of sucks though, because like I didn't do the shrine then. And then I got to the point where I wanted to do completion on every single shrine that I do, where I get all the treasure chests inside. And I went back to it to get the treasure chest, and you have to go up on the motion control platform to get the treasure chest.
Oh yeah.
To get
Yeah, I got
completion.
that.
And so I was like, crap, I have to redo the whole thing.
Yeah, you have to like position it just right to like.
Yeah,
and then
so I did end up solving it myself, but apparently you can just flip the whole thing over and just do that.
Yeah, but I thought
Like
I
if you just
didn't.
rotate over the whole gamepad, that makes the whole
Yeah,
platform go over.
Huh. Yeah, I thought I
And then
tried
the,
that.
then the
but
ball
it was,
falls
like,
on
not-
it, and you can just.
Yeah, yeah. What I remember I had to like do the whole like flipping the like you had to like use some of the like move it down real quick and hop it up, make it bounce
Yeah.
a little bit. It's yeah.
Yeah,
It's really
fun.
cool
I like
using
I like the
physics.
motion control ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So that's our Zelda impressions. I mean, we could talk about Zelda the entire show, but we'll kind of continue, I think, to do it piecemeal throughout the next few weeks and years and decades. But let us know in the comments. Like, try to keep it spoiler free. Like maybe follow our lead and kind of what we're saying. Like I don't know what dungeon Zach has done. I mean, I can kind of maybe guess, but he doesn't say anything about the dungeon. We haven't shared anything about the main quest or what's really happening. So if you can, follow that lead. Leave it to very vague general impressions if you want. And if you're wondering if it's a spoiler, it probably is a spoiler. And it's not even necessarily about following rules or anything like that. It's just about making sure you don't hinder the experience for anyone else. And so if you're sharing something and you think, man, it'd be cool if someone else could experience this as fresh as I did, go ahead and hold it back. Like there's like no other reason, like there's no reason to share it beyond that. And so that's our Zelda impressions. We're going to continue to love on the game. It's super fun. And yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say beforehand. Oh, there was one thing I realized last night that I wanted to share, and I'm trying to think of what it is that I was gonna share on the show today. Like a quote came to my mind where I was like, man, like I want to share it, but maybe it'll come to me later. 'Cause now it's time to unclog the Nintendo pipeline. Each week we take our plungers and stick them deep into Nintendo's pipes and unclog it item after item to discover what's going on in the world of Mario and friends. This week we have 7 pipe plug and news bits that need to be dealt with. Although there's only 7, they're quite meaty little turds in the toilet. Each one has quite a bit, sub news bits to it.
Wow.
And so we have to talk about those. If you're listening just to this portion, just to the news, you can go ahead and listen to the whole show on youtube.com/Koppai Gaming, as well as iTunes, all the podcast services. Your mid-show reminder to click that like button and click the subscribe button if you like our commentary on smash it and click it. And yeah, okay, whatever. If we get 2 likes, we will delete our channel. There you go. So news bit number 1, and I don't think I have any B-roll for this. We'll just play this. Super Mario Run finally has a release date for Android users. The mobile title is set to relaunch on March 23rd, which is only a few days away.
It's too late.
Well,
Too
yeah,
late.
yeah, it sucks how late you guys. That was just a weird deal with Apple because Fire Emblem and Mitomo obviously proved it wasn't like,
I'm still
you
gonna love
know.
it. I'm still gonna love it, but
Yeah,
it's.
the game honestly is probably one of my favorite side-scrolling Mario's.
I was
I've
there.
gotten
I mean, I was there on March 1st, like refreshing. I think I was there at midnight on March 1st. Like, where is it? I was even refreshing and like just checking for updates through periodically when they hadn't even announced that it was March, or anything. It was just like ever
yeah.
since it's been out on the iPhone, I've been wanting to play this game and I've been wanting to beat it, and you beat it, and I was able to
Got all
play
the
it.
coins.
Yeah, and it just such a huge Mario fan. I need all the Mario games, and it's just been torture. And it
Yeah,
felt
I think now is finally the time where maybe I'll switch to Google Pixel because I was kind of waiting because I was like, I want to play Mario still and
it's
all
nice.
that.
It'll
But
come out the day before or the day of my trip to Kansas City, which will mean it'll be like
yeah,
Switch, and then I can also play a little Super Mario Run on the side. So it'll be awesome. Just this,
yeah,
I'm
Mario
really.
Run is an awesome game. I put here in the notes. Definitely worth the full $10. Like, go ahead and just buy it. Like,
Well,
I
and
mean, you can try the first world if you want, but I mean, if you're wondering and you trust our opinion at all, spend the $10. It's worth it. The full worlds and especially getting all the coins
yeah.
in each world. The game is like as far as length wise and quantity, it's worth $10. The quality is outstanding. Get this game for $10.
Well, and
You won't regret it.
this combo of like these games they're releasing for the mobiles, it's making me want this hybrid of Switch and just taking my phone with me. I don't really need to take anything else.
Yeah,
Because I can
yeah.
play, if I have a little bit of downtime, I can switch between either playing like a bigger game on the Switch or just playing some Fire Emblem Heroes or Super Mario.
We'll get to it
Fun.
later, but I don't know why some of these mobile games aren't on the Switch. But we'll talk about that a little bit later when we get to the games that did come out this week.
Yeah.
And kind of some of their
I
controls
think
and
that
stuff.
a Splatoon mobile title would be really awesome, where it's not even like necessarily in the style gameplay wise of Splatoon, but just that atmosphere to just have a little bit extra to take with you as a companion to.
But with Voice, is that how you say it? Voice or
Voez,
VOEZ?
Voz. I think it's
Voz or
Voz.
something. Yeah,
Voz.
with Voz, that's a touch-only game. How come Super Mario Run and Fire Emblem Heroes, and even Mitomo for that matter, aren't on the Switch? Like, it's just weird that it's not even an option. Like, just to go ahead and download them and all that. But maybe they have that in the works.
Like
But,
the cross save, and you said that it was working like brilliantly between your iPad and your phone. And
I would
stuff.
literally be like sitting, and pardon to my professors, I'd be sitting in class playing Fire Emblem Heroes on my iPad because it looks like I'm taking notes.
Uh-huh.
And then I would walk home, and on my way home, I'd kind of pull out the game and be playing a little bit more. And it would, just be right where I left off. Like, it was so quick and seamless. So, yeah, awesome. I love Nintendo on mobile. Yeah. Number 2, Nintendo has doubled the production of the Nintendo Switch due to high demand. The Wall Street Journal reported that Nintendo is aiming to double their Switch console production from 8 million to 16 million units between April 2017 to March 2018. For context, the Wii U only sold 13.5 million units. And
That's
so they're going to be
crazy.
producing the amount of units that the Wii U actually sold. And, granted, they made a lot of Wii U's too and overestimated how many they thought it would sell.
Because I think it sold like 3 million in its first kind of launch window.
So they were like, oh, let's Iwata had to change a bunch of later projections because they're like, oh, we thought the launch was going to carry out. The thing is, though, and people are noticing this, it's selling out like hotcakes. And it's not even the holiday season, and really, I think the launch lineup's awesome, but for a lot of people, it's a pretty dismal launch lineup. By the holiday season, when consoles traditionally sell and will sell the most, there's going to be a new Mario, there's going to be a new Splatoon, a new ARMS, a new Xenoblade, a new Sonic, 2 new Sonics, actually.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be such a robust library on the Switch, including people that have probably been hearing about Zelda for a year, and at that point, the season pass will be fully out. There'll be new stories being promoted and new trailers for that new story. The Switch is knocking it out of the park. The UK was surveyed to reveal a high interest in the console, but concerns with the price of the unit itself. I honestly don't think the price is an issue. GameStop will be having units as early as this Wednesday, so if you haven't grabbed a Switch yourself yet, Wednesday could be a good time to do it because they'll probably go out of stock again very quickly. And Nintendo's personal stock, like their stock market numbers, have surged due to this production news, and so people are liking Nintendo right now.
Yeah.
There's lots of confidence in Nintendo, lots of people boasting it. Shout out to Colin Moriarty, who thinks this thing won't sell more than like. Wait, what did he say? Like, I love Colin, but he said like something along the lines of like, I don't think it's gonna sell beyond like 3 million this year, and I'm like, hasn't already sold 2 million or something?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
He said
they'll have more of that production out and sold probably by, I would say, mid-year.
Yeah.
So I would say I think they said they're estimating about 6 to 8 million for this fiscal year, and that sounds about right. Like maybe a little bit overestimating it, but I could see like 5 to 6 million. Like, I'm not sure.
Well, Emily Rogers tweeted out that she thinks a lot of people are gonna. She thinks 16 million, like the full selling out, is
possible.
Like, by next March, because there's lots of people that didn't own a Wii U and that didn't own a Wii U that now want to play Mario Kart, or even Splatoon, and they want to finally try it out. Or there's lots of people that had a Wii U and have a PS4 like we did that now want Nintendo's next thing. And so
nobody, I think, that wants to play Zelda and didn't get on the Wii U train is not going to be like, yeah, I'm going to go buy a dead console just because it is a little bit cheaper, used and refurbished or whatever, and I can get Zelda with it for, a little bit cheaper price, but then there's no future in store for it. It's like you get this with Zelda and you know that it's going to be supported long into the future. And I think a game like Mario Odyssey is also going to sell a lot of units, because it is like, it's kind of a Galaxy 364 Sunshine kind of sequel. It's not really a 3D world where a lot of people made the reputation of that kind of hampered before it even released by saying, oh, it's not really what we wanted, even though it was very close and up to par with like the Galaxy games, in my opinion, and stuff. And
I loved
it just had that reputation by not putting on a very definitive, this is a sequel to 64, saying definitively. It had this awkward sell that also hurt the Wii U and more with that by not having a legitimate Mario like 3D exploration title. This has that. This has Zelda, and I also think like what I've personally noticed is, compared to the Wii U, I think this launch lineup has been a lot stronger in terms of like attach rate and everything. In terms of, at least for me personally, in terms of I have 15 games on my Switch right now, and I'm switching between them a lot. Like Fast RMX, Shovel Knight, Blaster Master Zero, the World of Goo, and Human Resource Machine. And like, just there's all these games, and they're all super high quality.
Snake Pass is next week.
Yeah, and they just keep trickling out too, which just means there's just something too about the Switch. Just even if there was only 2 games, I think there's something about the hardware that makes you want to just keep picking it up and playing with it and toying around with it that really wasn't there for the Wii U, or isn't there for a lot of other consoles. And so there's something just about, you want to have an excuse to pick it up and play it for a bit, even if there's, even if you're not one of those that wants to play like all these games on there. I think that the Switch is just they just nailed this marketing and the look and everything to the point where it can sell. I think that the PS4 had this strength a bit because were like, why are we selling so many units when we don't even have really technically that many exclusives on at the moment? We're kind of porting a lot of machines, but I think that their marketing was so on point, and the sleekness of the PS4, the way that they did that conference.
You just wanted to turn it on. You wanted to play it. That's the same thing with the Switch now. As I'm like, I want to just stick with it. Like, I want to just keep playing games.
I honestly
it's easy to maneuver.
I think they took a lot of pointers from Sony on their PS4 launch for the Switch launch, because I think and even going, the whole super red and everything for this, competing with the blue of the PS4 and everything. It just seems they really took we need to have a strong powerful, marketing image and look for this, and they're really pushing it and they're really succeeding. So that's really awesome to see.
Yeah, no, definitely awesome. I'm hoping, but nothing but success. Purely for the sake of, I want Nintendo to succeed, so we can just continue to get maybe more. I want the Switch to just be the best. I mean, I loved my Wii U, but it would have been awesome to see like it realize its full potential, and so I want that with the Switch as well. Moving on in the news. That's just crazy that they're doubling production. Like it's so surreal.
Yeah.
Moving on to the news though, we got a new brief look and fresh look at Project Sonic 2017, now called Sonic Forces. The gameplay is reminiscent of Sonic Generations. They have this kind of whole thing about join the resistance. Holiday 2017.
I thought
we also got a new. Oh, go ahead.
I thought that it was actually very reminiscent and almost seemed a continuation of Colors in a way, because Forces, because it just seemed like I was trying to think, what does this seem like a continuation of to me? And the name being Forces just seems like such an unleashed Colors, and I guess they've been doing that with Generations, but Generations seemed like something unique in that it did the hybrid, and I don't know if this does that. But I guess we did see that classic
the initial
Sonic
trailer
game.
showed.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see. What my initial impression of this was, I don't know if I was super impressed. Like, I thought it looked gorgeous, and it's like, we all love this, but it just seems kind of that
Temple Run.
Yeah, it's like the holdy handy Sonic sort of thing, where it's not super challenging. You're kind of just blasting through and being like, oh, it's so pretty. But it was like,
the thing I noticed,
they avoiding, like in terms of enemies or obstacles. All they did was like run, and then they jumped a little bit, It was like,
the thing I noticed, and I had some friends saying like, oh, is this Temple Run or something? I'm like, shut up. Like, they're saying it's basically, that what you would expect out of a mobile game. I'm going to switch to some Sonic Mania B-roll, because we did get some more news on Sonic Mania. Oh, wait, why is
like a Sonic Dash sort of thing?
Yeah, they're like, what is this?
I disagree with that, because Sonic Dash, I actually thought it actually has some more obstacles and control that you need to actually more depth maybe to Sonic Dash, because what this just seemed like was trying to just kind of explode your like eyeballs with
the thing with this though is this is obviously the first level of the game, because it's from the initial trailer and it's from their initial demo. Like, something happens to the world of Sonic where these guys are showing up and you're escaping from the city, and like, it's the first level, so it's gonna be super basic. The other thing I noticed is like he took the main path through the thing, and maybe I'll actually go back to the B-roll here.
There's alternate paths and stuff.
Yeah, and there's even a path where there's a red coin, and I don't know if, you remember Sonic Lost World, I don't know if the viewers do, but Sonic Lost World, if you wanted to get all the red coins, you were in for like a challenge, in the same way that, Super Mario Run is like, oh, this game sucks, you're just, it's an auto-scrolling Mario game, but if you want to get the coins, you better buckle up, because it's about to be a bumpy ride. And so
it's optional, I guess, to hit the dash like through the entire level.
Like,
you could just
if it's
run
anything like
more of like exploration kind of pace. That's true. I guess I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah, and so I think the game's gonna have some depth to it. I'm definitely excited. It's gonna be perfect on the Switch. I can't wait.
Well,
to
and
play
especially
it on the Switch.
the classic style levels, because I felt that personally, Sonic Generations on the 3DS was super strong, and it's kind of like a hidden gem that maybe not a lot of people realize, that how it's a completely different game on the 3DS. They made a totally different game, and it's an amazing Sonic game, like with a lot of challenge, a lot of depth, and then like extra challenges, extra time modes and stuff. So if they do something like that for this, add like extra modes and the collectibles and stuff, this is going to be a really awesome Sonic game, I think. And it looks beautiful. It looks absolutely gorgeous. That was just kind of...
So does Sonic Mania. They showed some new levels. I didn't get a chance to input the B-roll into our little switchboard here, but we'll maybe show some of that next week. A cool new battery level, and then the second act of the Green Hill Zone, which is a completely original level now.
Yeah, it's a good year.
You actually you go into the Green Hills now. Like, you get closer.
Oh,
to
yeah,
them.
That's really cool. That's a really cool effect. I like that.
And it goes straight into it now. When you go from Act 1 to Act 2, it just loads up the next one into it. And so
a lot like I think 3 did that.
Yeah. Moving on, Konami has addressed some controller and latency issues with Super Bomberman R. I haven't got a chance to really test out the patch, but apparently patching out some frame rate issues and overall fluidity of the game, both in gameplay and online functionality to make it a better experience. We've actually played the game briefly. I played some single player levels. I enjoy the game. It's definitely a fun game to kind of pick up. I'd probably be playing it more if I had it digitally, but switching over on the cartridges is just kind of what holds me back. I'm actually we had a talk about that. Maybe we can have a future discussion about it as we get more Switch games. Maybe it's just because of the Switch interface, but digital games are so nice on the Switch. Yeah. And we had the whole dilemma of Binding of Isaac, because physical copies came out of that, but having it digitally is so nice. And this is a game that I would have really liked digitally, but I also love the box art. Like, it looks cool.
It's gorgeous, yeah.
Yeah, so... But yeah, if you were avoiding Bomberman because you heard there are some issues, or if you were just avoiding it because you didn't think it sounded fun, definitely an awesome game to pick up. And if you have some eShop cards or eShop points, go ahead and go grab that. Moving forward, I don't think I have any B-roll of South Park, but the next news bit is, for a brief moment, Nintendo and South Park fans were led to believe that South Park, the Fractured Butthole, may be coming to the Nintendo Switch. During a blizzard on the East Coast, Nintendo tweeted out a gif of Cartman freezing himself in the snow in anticipation of the original launch of the Nintendo Wii, with the quote, Nintendo, I'm coming. And then #Blizzard 2017. And so later on, South Park denied that Fractured Butthole will be coming to the Nintendo Switch. But I don't think that this was just some quote or joke. Yeah. I think it's still coming. The person that denied the claims that it's coming to the Nintendo Switch was just some South Park Studios representative. He don't know what's happening. He probably went on Target.com and saw that it wasn't on the Switch and was like, I guess it's not coming. But Ubisoft is in the background making Fractured Butthole on the Switch. I have no doubt in my mind it's coming. There's... No. They have so many episodes of blizzards and snow, and they could have just posted the gif of Cartman in the snow.
Yeah.
To say Nintendo, I'm coming, come on now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's such a clear reference to the episode. There's it's really complicated, I think, with this because, for one, it is a reference to the episode that was airing where Cartman freezes himself because of the launch of the Wii. And then it was also a huge blizzard in New York, they were being hit with that massive snowstorm. And so it was kind of a reference to both things going on kind of at the same time, which made me think I can, it's tricky because
it's a tricky
it's
wicket.
3 different references that it could be kind of inferring there. And then there's the whole case of just Nintendo and the controversy of, this is going to have jokes that are really, really offensive and really, really pushing the line of decency and Nintendo. And they are very, we're seeing some titles. I guess an example, is Disgaea 5. Maybe we could talk about, we're just having this conversation about getting the Japanese version over the English one because they're going to be doing some regionalization changes and stuff to make it censorship. Yeah. And that seems like something that I don't know if they're going to be doing that if they release it on PS4 too, if it's going to be across everything that Disgaea comes out on, if it'll be censored.
No, Disgaea is already out on PS4, and apparently the person that noticed, because we were just on some Nintendo forums and someone said get the Japanese version because it has English, and also they said that they had played it on the PS4 version and that's how they had played the American version and noticed that the Japan version added some things because there's some They said there's some cutscenes are saying that they were like, wait, this never happened in the one I played.
Yeah, that's
playing on the Switch.
So that means it's not really necessarily a Nintendo specific thing. But I just think the point is valid that, we've never seen something to that. I think that the first South Park game, though, did come out on N64 or something, that really horrible one. But
yeah,
I would just, I don't know. It's such a, once that comes out, it would take up marketing on Nintendo, and so many people would be having that on their Switches with really profane language and everything. Yeah. And I just find it, I would love it. I absolutely want, this. I hope it comes to reality. It'd be perfect.
If they bring back Stick of Truth, I'd replay that too.
They'd be perfect on the Switch. They would work perfectly. I think it was on IGN's game, or NVC, I think that somebody made the point that that Vita would have worked great on Vita too. It's just because they're not very, I guess, South Park is kind of, there's a deception there because they actually have a lot of like
they worked on this Stick of Truth though worked on PS3 and Xbox 360, and I heard they had some frame rate issues, but the Nintendo Switch surpasses those.
But I'm just thinking too, they're gonna be definitely expanding on the engine and pushing it further for this one. So we'll have to see. But I don't know.
I definitely believe it's coming though. I'm not losing hope. Mm-hmm. I believe it's coming.
Yeah, I would think maybe if they did, they might do it to a little bit like it's coming out, just kind of universal launch across all platforms or something, and then we're not gonna really get too much in the we're not gonna have a Nintendo Minute where we're playing Fractured Butthole, or something like that.
Kit and Krista. It's
gonna be winning.
Today we're gonna be playing Fractured Butthole.
And our farts are gonna be ripping holes in the space-time continuum.
They have just Matt and Trey in there to play with them. And
yeah.
And Bill Trinan, they have a translator. All right, moving on. Once again, I'm so sorry I don't have B-roll for this game as well, but Batman, the Telltale series was listed to be coming to the Nintendo Switch by several European retailers. The retailers listed a June 30th release date for the title. Minecraft Story Mode has already been confirmed by Nintendo for the Switch, and that was leaked by Amazon to have a June 27th release date. So the end of June may be Telltale week with Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Maybe they're doing like a Telltale collection or something. I don't know. Wouldn't it be surprising if they did something like that for the Switch?
Seems like they'd like to have them kind of roll out in the eShop conveniently close to like developers. We saw that with these the 2D Boy or something, and the Human Resource Machine and World of Goo. It's and Little Inferno. They all kind of rolled out together, and the Neo Geo games. It's like seems they kind of like to do it that formula because it keeps it easy to organize. We'll see if they ever update the eShop to a little bit more.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I've been making games on my wish list to have some easy organization, but no, I wouldn't replay. And I haven't played Minecraft Story Mode. Maybe I'd go ahead and buy that for the Switch. Batman's awesome. Lots of technical difficulties in the later episodes. Don't know if they have addressed that since, but I played it the day it came out, and it was almost unplayable. Froze several times, deleted decisions, and it was just,
I think I saw some screenshot that was like just somebody's eyeballs in like their teeth or something.
Awesome story though. Like Telltale continues to knock it out of the park. Where it's just I was never invested in Borderlands until after Tales of the Borderlands, and Tales from the Borderlands was a freaking masterpiece game. The Telltale Batman series got me to care a lot about Batman. I was all hyped and ready to go for like Suicide Squad and all of that. And so definitely worth checking out if you haven't played those games. Moving on, we have a new thing we're going to be trying out, hopefully having this weekly, but via My Nintendo News, we have this week's Nintendo downloads, including some of the featured content and sales going on. We have some B-roll playing here of Blaster Master Zero. It's one of the games that's featured and coming out this week. Super awesome game. We'll get to that in a moment. But here are the games that are coming to the Nintendo eShop on Nintendo Switch. Number 1, The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth, both digital and retail. The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus is a dungeon-crawling shoot-'em-up that's a different game each and every time you play it. The randomly generated maps are built with more than 11,000 unique rooms and configurations, each populated with a nearly endless variety of enemies, items, challenges, and secrets. And so I haven't had a chance to play it. I'm actually going to go to Best Buy today and pick up my copy. I got it for $28 physical.
Great deal.
A heck of a deal.
Yeah.
And I've never played it before. I missed on all the other generations and all that. So,
but I have a friend that got super into it and said that it was amazing, like years back when it was kind of first came out as The Binding of Isaac. And I know that it's been such a huge success. It's like Nicalis or whatever has ported it to pretty much everything they can, and really love Nintendo platforms. I know they were having like really a huge struggle for a while on getting it, I think, on the Wii U and 3DS. I'm not sure which one was having the most trouble. It might have been the Wii U, but one of them, it might have been a 3DS, but one of them was having huge issues. It might have actually been canceled. I don't know. I held out, and I am confident that it was a great pickup to have on my Switch, because I think this console is just going to be with me for a really, really long time. And it's kind of like that. We were talking about that Rogue Legacy game. That game was super addicting, and just like I could not put it down. and I still need to beat that game, but unfortunately, like my Vita just kind of bit the dust, so it's kind of just it's over for that. But now with this, I think it's going to be awesome. I love that. I just the atmosphere of it seems perfect. Fighting like some poop bosses, it's like I'm excited to get in there and just
a roguelike game on Nintendo Switch is a dream come true, and so super excited to get more into that. Pick it up today. Maybe I'll tweet out a picture.
Yeah,
of me holding.
Really excited to come eventually visit and see the whole physical. box and everything.
Number 2, Human Resource Machine. Human Resource Machine is a puzzle game for nerds. In each level, your boss gives you a job. Automate it by programming your little office worker. If you succeed, you'll be promoted up to the next level for another year of work in the vast office building. So, really cute concept of a game. With all these 2D boy games, I'm not the biggest fan of the art style, the whole Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas sort of look to everything, but I played the first level of the game and it was super cute and fun. The interesting thing about all these games that we're going to be talking about, except for Binding of Isaac and Blaster Master Zero and all that, they're completely either motion or touch controlled. You can't just use an analog stick, which I thought was just super fascinating. I didn't realize that was the case. Really cool. The touch controls with the Joy-Con, or the motion controls, work incredibly well. And I'm imagining for such a small indie developer, they didn't have a ton of time and resources to redesign the motion control engine and all that. It seems like the process of porting it over was pretty easy, which leads me to believe Skyward Sword or Galaxy or Wii Virtual Console is incredibly easy. Yeah, definitely. This isn't like motion controls. This is pointing at the screen and it knows right where you are. And so
it has a great calibration system. You can quickly calibrate it.
It feels better than the Wii.
Better than the Joy-Cons. I think are really like step up from the Wii Motes because they're not as bulky and stuff. It's just kind of like a really it was kind of making me think if they ever do a little VR headset for this, the Joy-Cons are going to be absolutely amazing for that. But yeah, Human Resource Machine, I've played up to like level 8 or 9 or so, and it's really getting to like where, holy crap, oh my god. Yeah. Because there's things like Kayla was watching me play, and she was just kind of amazed at as I was getting to like level 5 and 6. Yeah, I was just like putting it together and figuring it out. She's like, wait, what? How on earth? Because it's like you gotta seriously do like these copying to the different things and then pick it up and then set it down over here and then you gotta.
It's like Job Simulator.
It's kind of she said that too. It's very much like in terms of story and concept, it's very much like Job Simulator, but in terms of gameplay, definitely it's like completely different because it's just all of this puzzle, super logic based, which is something that I really love because it's almost like. It's programming logic, but it's also just logic overall that you're thinking about, and so that's really awesome.
Once again, my apologies for only having Blaster Master Zero gameplay footage playing for the B-roll.
And only $10, so
only $10, yeah. I picked it up along with Blaster Master Zero and World of Goo. The next game up on the list that comes out this week, Little Inferno, multiple nominee in the Independent Game Festival for the Grand Prize, Nuevo Award, and Technical Excellence, with honorable mentions in Best Design and Best Audio. Little Inferno is an adventure game that takes place almost entirely in front of a fireplace, about looking up out of the chimney in the cold world just out on the other side of the wall. So we didn't get a chance to pick this one up. But it's definitely one that's piqued my interest. Mm-hmm. Someone compared it, I think, to like Journey or something. Yeah.
Well, this is what I think it is in that case, is because what I was watching a review of it is it seems to be super, super experimental in that it's a unique gameplay experience that, they're really trying to be inventive. They're really trying to do something that, is different than a different game. Like World of Goo and Human Resource Machine, they're more of typically what you would think of a game to be like, but this is very much going on more of the pushing the idea of what is a game and what, doing that sort of like making indie proud sort of thing where they're like, nowadays indie is kind of where we push the limits and where we kind of try these new experimental concepts, and Little Inferno, I guess, executes that in a very effective way, which definitely
I'll be picking it up, no doubt.
Yeah
after my love of Human Resource Machine and World of Goo, I have no doubt that Little Inferno is probably good too.
Yeah.
Which leads us to our last game for the Nintendo Switch eShop, World of Goo. World of Goo is a physics-based puzzle / construction game. The millions of goo balls who live in the beautiful world of Goo don't know that they're in a game or that they're extremely delicious. Which I thought was the weirdest write-up for all these games so far. Like every other game was perfectly, summarized what you're doing. The millions of goo balls who live in the beautiful world of Goo don't know that they are in a game or that they are extremely delicious. That's the description.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, all you really need to say is a physics-based puzzle construction.
Yeah, I guess that's true. You're grabbing these little balls of goo, you're building them up to make these kind of like, I don't know, towers.
Yeah,
and then
tower
you lead them
structures,
to oil pipes.
Yeah, it's not always necessarily building up. It's sometimes like you attach balloons
Dragging
to
down.
them, or try to build a bridge, or there's all these kinds of different crazy or trying to make it support the walls to build up, or
Yeah,
that
it's
kind
awesome.
of stuff. So
It's gonna be a fun, intuitive game to play.
what's really cool about it too is that not only do you have to beat the levels, but if you really want to get the level complete perfectly, you have to do it in the OCD criteria, which is absolutely insane. Like I've done the first 2 with the OCD, and I'm on level like 10 or 11. But in terms of the OCD, I'm trying to get level 3, and it's like, how on earth do you get to the pipe with 22 of these guys still on there? I can only get to 18 right now. And I'm like, this is absolutely really making you think. It's an amazing puzzle side companion game to Zelda. I think all of these games really are. So far, Nintendo, I think, have done a great job at releasing games that are kind of arcadey or puzzly or something.
And like they've said from the get-go, they cover every kind of genre.
Yeah.
Like there's a game for you if you want to play on the Switch. And so my only complaint with Human Resource Machine, Little Inferno, and World of Goo is there's no HD rumble. Like, come on. Because I actually don't think I even have it. I think it's later on with maybe the 3DS. But Blaster Master Zero came out. I actually don't think I have it here on the list of games coming out this week.
Yeah.
Oh, because it came out last week.
Right.
Blaster Master Zero, though, I just picked up this week, and it's so cool to play like an SNES game, basically, with HD rumble. Like, that's so weird.
The
Like,
explosions and stuff, they're all very, like, it really has a punch to it.
Yeah, like, I mean, imagine a Mega Man game with, dynamic haptic feedback. It feels so good.
Yeah, it's like a Mega Man, Metroid, Mario.
Yeah, it's an awesome. I was so happily surprised by how much I've loved it so far. It's a vast, beautiful open world of Metroid, Mega Man controls, HD rumble, feels great. Feels incredible in handheld mode.
I
Can't
like
wait
the
to play more of it.
floatiness of it too. In the mech and stuff. There's a nice like kind of Luigi U almost like physics to it, and there's several different physics because you kind of get out and then you go into.
Hopefully, like a game like Axiom Verge comes to the Switch and has HD rumble, because that would make me lose my mind.
Yeah.
I want all these games to have HD rumble now. It really enhances a game.
Yeah.
On the Virtual Console on the Wii U, Picross 3D comes out. Track the numbers to uncover the hidden shape in this beloved Nintendo DS classic. Tap a chisel to eliminate blocks you think don't belong, or use a paintbrush to mark ones you think should stay. Beginners and Picross veterans alike will love this puzzle game that's easy to pick up but hard to put down.
I guess I gotta go back to my Wii U.
Yeah, get that DS game. And Nintendo eShop sales on the Nintendo eShop on Wii U and 3DS. All Monster Hunter games on 3DS and Wii U are now up to 66% off until March 22nd. So join the hunt today, and you can go find all those on Nintendo.com/games/sales-and-deals.
Rumor. Monster
Also,
Hunter,
all the Neo Geo games.
Monster Hunter is coming to the Switch. That's a rumor that just came out.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, the Neo Geo games, those are awesome, and they just came out with a patch for them too. When they first came out, they were all washed out looking and kind of bad, weird.
And Blaster Master Zero just got a patch, I think, today.
Yeah, I patched it.
Yeah.
I don't know what changed.
That gets Pro Controller support. So.
Oh, that's awesome, because I remember that. That's cool. Because that's what I'll be using when I plug it into the TV. But yeah, I did pick up Metal Slug 3, King of Fighters 98. I think I'm gonna get Shock Troopers eventually.
Yeah, I'm gonna get probably maybe all of them eventually. as you
Yeah.
get the
Well, I don't
money.
know.
Like,
I don't know about like World of Heroes and King of Fighters 94. Like if I got 98, what do I really need
Yeah,
94
that's
for,
true.
You know,
Yeah, that's true.
Waku Waku 7, Doki
That
Doki
looks
Panic
funny.
GT.
Yeah. But that concludes the Nintendo Pipeline and also Koppai Podcast.
Oh.
So we can now give it a satisfying flush and watch it all swish and swoosh into oblivion. If you enjoyed our discussion and this episode of Koppai Podcast, be sure to like, subscribe, smash that like button, share, and review us on iTunes and other podcast services. And next week we'll discuss more Nintendo news. We'll discuss more Zelda impressions, Snake Pass impressions, and all of that. I think actually next week I'm out of town on Saturday morning, which is when we try to start recording. And so we'll have to figure out that and see when the episode can get posted. Maybe record one in advance or something like that. And we'll have another episode for you next week. And yeah, that's all that. Be sure to go to the bathroom before you go to bed tonight.
Take your Switch with you. I tried
yeah,
that
take your
out
Switch.
personally firsthand, and it works great. As long as you
That's
have a
awesome.
place in your bathroom, it's like as long as it's clean enough and you have a place to set down your Switch, you know, you need to take care of business.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's good to like. I played Zelda and brought it. I was the man from the commercials.
Yeah.
That was all. I don't know what he was playing. I think it was like Mario Kart or something. He was super
was
into
Mario
it.
Kart's- yeah, he was turning all the turns and feeling the HD rumble, helping them all out.
Like lifting
But
his
yeah,
leg
no,
up to like help with the turns and stuff.
Yeah, the drifting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So be sure to click all the like buttons, subscribe buttons. We'll be back next week. And until next time. That was a long one.
Yeah.
Wait, what? All right, now we're recording on the thing. Alrighty, here we go. I'm gonna try something new. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode. I'm not doing that. I wanted to do the what's up, everybody.
Oh,
Should I try it?
you should try it. Yeah.